Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenore and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Libra. If Libra is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so we have tonight the adjustment card. There's some serious clarity happening. Let's take a look and see what these tea leaves have to say. And so if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. All right. We have TT, it looks like. Oh, TT hasn't been on the readings in a while. A lot of you probably don't remember her. She's our hairless Sphinx cat. She's my little baby, but she's also quite a little beast. She's very naughty. She's a naughty girl. She's like one of those cats that'll stare you right in the eye while she pushes a glass off the table. I love her spirit. Okay, so we have, it looks like G, like Gigi. Maybe a grandma? Do you have a Gigi in your life? Oh, and we have a person up here holding a hook. Now what's going on? Let's take a look. We have a person up there holding a hook. We have another person right here. It's almost like they're holding it away from them. And then this almost kind of looks like, I don't know, like a bug or a bird or something. Immediately what I'm thinking is it almost feels like somebody trying to keep somebody else from making money. When I see the hook, I think of the fish, and the fish to me is a symbolism, or in symbolism in the readings, usually has to do with abundance, being able to bring in resources, right? So the hook would definitely be the ability to do your job, to have the tools or time or education to get that done. Now it feels like somebody is holding that away. Now I feel like, I almost wonder if this is kind of a problematic relationship, honestly. I don't know, you know, hopefully you have no idea what this is or how it feels, but you know, being in a relationship with somebody who, you know, shows up at your work to argue with you, you know, like a significant other, that makes it difficult for you to excel in your job because, you know, they're always interfering. They are jealous. They don't want you talking to people at work, or, you know, just kind of this very controlling behavior. You know, hopefully, you have no experience with that, but I do feel like it is almost this kind of somebody kind of blocking your ability, or trying to block your ability to do your job. And now this could also be somebody at work, right, who's actively kind of moving against you, trying to, you know, cause some kind of inability to perform your duties. So, you know, I feel with that adjustment card, there really is this energy. And I mean, it really, you are in your power in the adjustment card. This ability to not only perceive what is happening, you see it. You know, you're not blind to it. You know how these people move. You're watching. You're always watching. And so not only that, but you are, I think, in the stages of figuring out, how do I balance this out? What are my next moves? What am I going to do to kind of, I'm not going to say eliminate the problem, but to, what's the word? Fix it, I guess. I was trying to think of a more beautiful sounding word, to write the whatever it is. You know, so this isn't going to be any lasting thing. I think this is somebody who is pretty juvenile in the way that they deal with things, right? And ultimately, Libra, you have a patience, you have a consistency, you have a strength that most people don't have, right? You will continue to show up and do the things that you need to do. You're not going to, you know, shy away from that. And ultimately, that wins you out in the situation because you won't be bullied. You won't be pushed around by others, okay? And you absolutely are not going to let them have any control over the way that you take care of yourself, about the way that you make your money, you know, and ultimately, hopefully, how you use your money, where you put your money, whatever, you know. I think there is, well, I don't think, I know there is a strength in Libra that is often overlooked, okay? Your ability to maintain is maybe surpasses all of the other signs. And so this is, you know, this is a moment and it shall pass, right? It will pass. Okay, so down here we have, it looks like a person holding, and I keep thinking, are they holding a spoon? What is that? It looks like a spoon. Now, I feel like it's almost like an argument happening here. And I feel like this is kind of different. This is a whole situation. This is different than what's going on down here. This one to me feels like, I mean, quite literally, maybe like some kind of family gathering where there is, it seems like kind of this, I almost imagine everybody being in the kitchen, voices are raised, not arguing, but just loud, right? Talking real loud. And, and getting together, having maybe like a barbecue or some kind of, you know, meal being prepared for everybody. Some kind of event, maybe a dinner party, maybe some holiday, a birthday, something, okay? And I feel like there is this is a place where you can be with your family, and it can be chaotic, it can be loud, it can be, you know, laughing and crying and reminiscing and all of that. And usually anywhere else, this would really kind of set you off as far as like maybe like overly like sensory stuff. It's too loud. There's too many people in here. I don't want to, you know, be like in the middle of this. It's just overwhelming. But with these particular people, you know, maybe parents and spouse and kids and siblings and, you know, all that, it feels okay and natural and enjoyable to some degree. Now, I don't necessarily experience you or this energy as being kind of the center of attention. I think you kind of, maybe, yeah, you kind of stay in your own little space, and maybe you kind of, you know, you're doing whatever you are to prepare the food or whatever, but you're relatively quiet for the most part. It's not that you don't have things to say, but you wait for your moment and you say them with intent, okay? And so, yeah, I feel like this is a time where it really does kind of charge your battery to be with your people, and something that you cherish. And I think that the older you've gotten, the more that you do cherish being with them. Now, we have a goat, the sea goat up here. So we have a Capricorn energy that feels pretty prominent in your life. I almost wonder if this is a parent, It could be a spouse or even like a child, one of your children, but I kind of feel like this is one of your parents. And I feel like to some degree you get your kind of, stoicism to some degree. I don't feel like you're fully a stoic person, but I think when you're interacting with others, you maybe come off as fairly stoic, although you have the undertone of real warmth. You are somebody who people can come to and confide in. I think that you're very open-minded. You're helpful. I always think of Libra people as being like something like a social worker, a caregiver, a counselor, working with kids, a position where you are trusted, right? And not only are you trusted, people feel that they can open up to you, right? Or if they feel that they need somebody to help them figure something out, you're the person that's going to invest the time and really be there, right? Not just kind of like, okay, come into my office, sit down, we're going to figure this out. No, it's like you're there. You want to kind of really engage and listen to what do they have to say? How are they feeling? What is going on? What is actually going on here? Right? And you're listening and you're collecting information and you're figuring it out. And then you're speaking to them in a way that they can also hear. You're not talking to them in this, coded language or detachment where it's like, this is all business. I'm just going to keep it real cut and dry. No, you are the one that, people remember years and years later because you have a good heart, whatever good means, right? But you have a heart that you allow others to experience. Now, at the same time, I am saying that there's this stoicism, and maybe that's not exactly, it's maybe a guardedness, or that you are careful with others, right? You're not going to give advice to somebody who doesn't ask for it. You're not somebody going out there and trying to convert people or tell them about themselves or, expose something. Oh, an aha moment. Gotcha. That's not a Libra style. Not at all. So I do feel like with the family, you go into this kind of chaos that families are. And yeah, you feel recharged. Now, the rest of your life, though, I don't feel is as chaotic. Also, I feel you have that parent who is pretty reserved, at least one of them, right? And I think that you kind of you take after that aspect a little bit, right? Now, let's go ahead. I want to turn this. So we have the person with their dog playing. We'll have another dog over here. So maybe you actually have some dogs. But I do feel like you have relationships in your life where people are very devoted to you. And you are devoted to them. The dogs always indicate to me there's a lot of loyalty. Lots of loyalty in your life. Not even a question of, do I speak against, do I divulge, any of that. You do not trespass against those, probably most or any people, but especially those who are in these beloved positions in your life. You will do anything for those that you love. You are a true ride or die. And it's more than one person. So you are definitely what was I going to say? Well, devoted person. You are, blessed. I was going to say you're definitely a blessed person because you have these people You have more than one person. A lot of us, especially as we get older, you know, I mean, you needn't even question really how lonely most of the world seems to be these days. People surrounded by people have no connections, or even the connections that they do have are very superficial. You don't have this problem. You live heart to heart with people. You are blessed, and the people in your life are super blessed to have you. Now up here, I'm looking, it looks like it says CBD or CBG, okay? Also kind of looks like an 8 and a 6. I don't know. Maybe you are somebody who uses those medicines. I don't know, but that came up. Okay, let's take a look over here. Let's see. We have an A, but it also looks like a person. So we have the A, but we have the person as well. We have the cycles of the moon. Oh, we have a little dove, a pigeon or a dove. We have all these collared doves and mourning doves outside. They're so pretty. They they sound like they're purring all the time, especially in the evening. I'm like, oh, I'm enchanted. Okay, let's see. So we have the person there very much affected by the moon. Now, I think, what is today? I think it's Friday. So the new moon should be over, I think. But, oh my goodness, this moon really did a number on me. This new moon energy. Oh, and now we have the hermit energy down here. So, we're getting ready for the solstice, right? So is that for you the summer solstice or the winter solstice? I don't know. But either way, profound transitions happening, right? And I feel that this is a time that maybe you celebrate formally, maybe not. But I do think this is a good time. I don't even think, I know. This is a really good time for you to be setting your intentions, making some kind of goal for yourself for this next couple months. Now, it does not have to be anything lofty, right? I am the queen of making manageable and achievable goals because, listen, I am fully, I mean, apparently, I just learned in the last few years that I am a millennial. I always thought I was like the really like young Gen X. No, I guess I'm not. I am a millennial. I'm the oldest old millennial. So the millennials, as you remember, right? We were notoriously known for always liking our treats and being given our little participation awards. We love to achieve, even if it is not that impressive. Even if we came in 5th place, we still want a little gold star, right? So I'm the queen of making these very achievable goals because I like to feel good about myself. What can I say, you know? So it does not have to be a lofty goal, but please, yeah, go and think about it. What is your goal? What is your goal? My goal is to, and I've shared this in some of the other readings. Hopefully you haven't already heard it, but if you have, thank you for continuing to listen. My goal is to learn how to make a sour cream raisin pie. My husband and I, shout out to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My husband Paul over there is an amazing tarot reader. Go check him out. We go to this little outpost that is, it's at a campsite actually. And it's not too far off from where we live. We live out in the middle of nowhere, so there's not a lot out here, but too far off from where we live. And they make wonderful pies, right? And a few years ago, we went over there for the first time, and they had, I've never heard of it, sour cream and raisin. Well, I am like one of these, I like to cook, I like to bake, but I am really into doing old recipes, especially like Depression era meals. I have a bunch of cookbooks and, you know, things online saved. People who, and there's actually and I wish I knew the name of it offhand, but there's this really great YouTube channel where somebody filmed their grandmother talking about the things that they ate during the Depression, and she would give recipes. And I haven't watched it in a while, but I think she actually shows you how to make them. And I believe she's passed away. This is like a channel that was created years ago. So rest in peace to her. Grandma has been quite an inspiration for me. And really, I got to look it up because it just is such I'm going to keep talking while I'm looking. But it's been something that I just, you know, love pursuing. Mostly because it's, you know, stuff that, okay, the channel is called Great Depression Cooking with Clara. Oh, and she's so wonderful. Great Depression Cooking with Clara. So anyways, I found this pie. It's an older style pie. I had never heard it. It's delicious. My husband, Paul, who you all know, he cooks and bakes, you know, once in a while. He used to cook and stuff all the time when he was a bachelor. He's really I'm not going to even tell you how amazing he is. I mean, I am, but there's some of his dishes are to die for. And anyways, so he tried to make it for my birthday, and it just didn't set up correctly. So I'm on a mission to figure out how we can make this pie because I need it in my life. It's so good. Now we can go and get it at this place, and yeah, it's really delicious. But I want to make it at home too. So that's my goal for this summer, is to find some time. Also, peaches. Planting some peach trees. That's what we're doing. We're doing some plum trees and some peach trees. That's my other big goal. We're going to have we're starting a little orchard, and I look forward to it. That's always been my big dream, is having an orchard. My family had an orchard before I was born, and that was the big goal of the family, and they succeeded, but then it kind of fell apart through the generation. So I'm starting over. You know, I'm not in California where my family is, but I'm starting over in a different place, and we're starting a new orchard, a new sacred grove over here. Now we have the Wild Offering Oracle cards, and I'm just going to go ahead and flip through. And excuse me, by the way, thank you for letting me talk about myself. I feel like I always have to qualify it. Some people don't like it, but you know what? This is the way I read. And I know I don't even need to comment on it anymore, but you know, I'm a person, I like to be accommodating. But I also, you know, I just want to connect, and I want you to know a little about me. I want you to know who is bringing you this information, these messages. You know, I feel like I've built so many friendships through this channel, the most lovely people. So that is what it is. Now I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to flip through, I'm going to stop where it feels right. Okay, it says loneliness. When you stop fearing your aloneness, you stop settling for less than you deserve. May I embrace and love my solitude. And that's when kindred spirits can finally come. This honestly is, in my estimation, one of the ultimate lessons of life. When we figure out, and it's not even just with people, it's with things. It's with status, with trying to gain some kind of, notoriety or whatever. And you might say, hey, what are you even talking about? You're like building this channel, this reading business or whatever. I tell you, it's not for notoriety. It's not for anything other than, well, it is a place to express myself, right? And be with people, learn about people, learn about myself, all of that. But when we can figure out how to not try to populate our lives with all of these things, with all of these, the need to be around somebody or stay in a situation that maybe is not right for us because we're afraid of what is the alternative. I might be alone. I might have nothing. Yeah, that's scary. It is. But so often when we lean into that solitude, like you've been through a breakup or, for me, in my case, I was widowed. And at a young age, I was like almost 30. And I had to lean into it. And it was hard. It was devastating. I can't even, now it seems almost kind of crazy to me looking back on it. It was such an awful feeling, awful time. And it took years to crawl out of. But because I leaned into it, I found that I loved to be alone. For the first time in my entire life, could be who I am, not in relation to anybody else. I had to sit with myself. I had to look at myself. I had to be honest with myself. What do I like? What do I want? What are my proclivities? What are my inclinations? What are my desires? What do I not want to do anymore? And I'll tell you, so much of the stuff I was doing, the way I was living throughout my life, up until that time, was not anything for me. I was even eating food I did not like. The big thing I talk about, drinking milk, having milk in the house. Now, I'm not against milk. I just don't like it. I just personally don't like how it doesn't, whatever. That's my own personal choice. But the point is, I was living in a household with somebody, and it wasn't his fault. It was my fault. But living a life where I was just, partaking in what wasn't for me. I didn't like it. And once I was alone, I kept doing it. I kept buying milk. And then finally one day I was standing in the grocery store looking at all of this different milk thinking, do I even like milk? I keep buying it. I don't really even use it. I cook with it, but I don't really go through it. So why am I buying this? I'm in the habit of. I had to look at the whole landscape of my life and decide what is for me. And that's difficult, but you know what? It leads to the promised land. I mean, it does. It does. To live in a life, create an environment that is for you. You stop putting up with stuff. You stop letting people in who don't belong in your life. And that's real. All right, Libra, I love you. I thank you for spending this time with me. It's always such an honor. If you would be so kind as to like the video, it does help the channel so much. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. And if you'd like to leave a comment, please do. I'd love to hear from you. All right. I'm going to say again, I love you. Take care of yourself. We're going to talk in a few days from now. All right. Good night, good night, good night.